On October 16th, 2021, there'll be yet another Instacart shopper strike that'll try to force Instacart's hand and change the way that shoppers are compensated. The strike will include shoppers deleting the shopper app and not taking any orders until Instacart decides to change their policies. Also, it'll include customers deleting their Instacart customer app and not making any orders or placing any orders while the strike is ongoing. So if you want to know all about the strike, then keep watching this video. In the past, there was a strike that occurred after Instacart was paying roughly $2 per delivery order. A group of gig workers called the Gig Workers Collective protested this, and they got Instacart to raise the base price of all of the orders. Then another issue came up when shoppers started to feel like Instacart was stealing customer tips. The Gig Workers Collective started to collect data from many Instacart shoppers and tried to figure out if Instacart was doing something shady with tips. This resulted in the previous CEO of Instacart, Apoorva, publicly apologizing to Instacart shoppers and initiating a policy change in Instacart. Instacart essentially was supplementing their base pay with customer tips, so Instacart wouldn't have to pay the $7 base pay, and if the customer tipped $5, then Instacart would only pay $2 to get to that $7 pay. The next movement occurred at the beginning of the panorama, and Instacart wasn't taking the panorama too seriously. Instacart wasn't giving shoppers access to personal protective equipment such as hand sanitizers, masks, anything like that. This protest made its way to the Senate, and the Senate pushed it on to attorney generals, and this eventually led Instacart to release the health and safety kits that they say that you can order in the app. I've tried ordering it like at least 5 times, and I've never once got any PPE, any hand sanitizers, nothing like that from Instacart. Also, Instacart started to give sick pay leave if you got COVID while shopping, and they just expanded sick pay to its shoppers. This new strike has 5 demands that shoppers and the Gig Workers Collective are trying to get passed by Instacart. These are: the pay needs to be increased per order and no more giving $7 for triple batches. The collective says that Instacart should get rid of double and triple orders and make it so if a shopper would like to add on a second or third order, then they can, such as like this, where you can choose to add on another order or another 2 orders while you're shopping an order and a new order comes in at the same location. Because we as Instacart shoppers know what orders can be combined and what is too much effort and what is a good amount of effort, or what actually makes sense for how much we're getting paid. The second demand is item commissions need to be brought back. Originally, when an order has a lot of items, you get an extra amount of pay for that amount of items, and if you refunded items, then the pay would stay the same. Now it's flipped on its head, where a customer can continue to add more and more items, and the base pay will still just stay at $7. And if you refund any items, the tip will go down, and you just lose out on money. So it's a lose-lose for Instacart shoppers. With this item commission being out of commission, it effectively makes it so the triple batch orders with non-tippers is paying less than minimum wage. This is lower than most fast food restaurants are giving people when they hire them. Now, in my area at least, McDonald's and KFC, all of that, they've bumped up their minimum wage to $15 an hour, so it would make more sense to work for a fast food company than to run around and do Instacart shopping and put wear and tear on the car, have to pay for gas, have to all of those externalities that most people don't think about when they are doing Instacart shopping. The third demand is liability and danger insurance and death insurance. There have been times where Instacart shoppers have died, such as one time with a shooter where a woman was killed and Instacart decided to donate $50,000 to her family, which doesn't cover all of the expenses needed when somebody passes. We as shoppers could get into car accidents or get robbed or killed while we're working, and Instacart claims no liability for any of this and basically pushes all of the risk onto shoppers. The fourth demand is the shopper ratings needs to be changed. 4 stars hurt shoppers quite a bit 3 stars to 1 stars will completely ruin somebody's source of income. Customers aren't aware of this, and they think that if they give 4 stars for like adequate or like a little bit better than average service, that they're rating the shopper positively, but that's simply not the case. There's also no way to appeal unfair ratings, and the lack of truck drivers and the failing distribution systems of many stores is leading to tons of products being out of stock that aren't usually out of stock, and customers are taking that anger out on shoppers when there is an item out of stock rather than the grocery store. There's also the whole entire thing about missing items and completely not delivered order fraud that occurs more often than it should, and Instacart is pretty much calling all of its shoppers thieves, and they won't even give us the right to a fair trial. They just decide that we're thieves and that we're the people that are in the wrong is the shopper, and so they'll just deactivate a shopper for these claims without even giving the shopper a chance to appeal. The final demand is that the base tipping needs to go back to 10%. When a customer goes in and they go to check out their order, the base tip is 5%, which is usually like $2 or $3 for most stores I see. Customers, of course, are able to change this and go up or down based off of how much they would like to give, but a base rate of 10% means that customers are more willing to give more than 10% rather than the base tip amount to be at 5%, where customers think, oh, it's just like a couple dollars, so I'll just put it at 0. If you think about it, when you go out to eat, you tip on average like 15 to 20%. Usually here where I live, the tax is 9.7%. I've always heard that you're supposed to double the tax and give that as a tip. So that's about 20% tip for a waiter that doesn't even do the same amount of work that a Instacart shopper has to do. Not to even mention all of the car repairs and things like that that go into maintaining a vehicle and driving a vehicle to the customer's location. If we can give waiters a 20% tip, then why should an Instacart shopper only get 5% tip? I'm not trying to put waiters down or anything like that. I know that there's so many extraneous things that go into why waiters are tipped the way that they are, including that they don't get paid a livable wage by the restaurant that they work for, but that's a whole nother topic and that's out of the scope of this video. The Gig Workers Collective is asking everybody that can participate in the strike to participate in it, but if you're not able to participate in it for monetary reasons, such as myself, I can't just not do Instacart because it's my primary source of income. They're recommending that shoppers that can't participate in the strike, they should boycott the $7 batch pay orders, because these are the orders that Instacart is trying to save money on so that way they can have higher profit. And because Instacart's going public soon, they're trying to sell their company to another company. Instacart's had 2 different conversations with other companies that have become public that we know about, where Instacart is trying to sell their company to a larger company. So right now, Instacart is trying everything that they can to increase their bottom line and just make it look like it's a better company than it is so they can sell it for a way higher price. If you're having any issues or concerns or anything like that, you can email Willy at gigworkerscollective.org and you'll be connected right to Willy Solis. He's one of the lead organizers of the Gig Workers Collective, and he'll personally respond to you, address any concerns you have, anything like that, if you have questions for him, and he'd very much like it if you did email him. One last thing, today, on the day that I'm recording this, it is October 6th, 2021. In the Shopper app, there was a questionnaire that was released by Instacart that links to a Google form sheet that you can fill out. And it just has a bunch of questions and a questionnaire about all sorts of things and how you feel about them, such as they're not important at all, they're somewhat important, they're moderately important, they're very important, or they're extremely important. Some of these questions related to prioritizing access to live support agents, prioritizing access to higher paying batches, prioritizing batches to retail locations that you're already located at, the ability to see more batch details. There was even one question where they could possibly make it like DoorDash, where if you're not a top dasher, then you're not allowed to go online until there's high peak demand. So if you're watching this on the 6th, then go check that out. I think that it will expire after today. Also, there's a Penn State Instacart study that's being conducted by a researcher there. I signed up for the study, and I'll put the link down in the description below so that way you guys can visit it as well. I'll also pin a comment, but this study is going to be just a simple 5-minute questionnaire. I haven't done it yet, so I'm not that sure. I just looked it over as I applied for it. You just enter in your email, they'll email you back, and they'll give you a little access code to the study. And then you just go in and it'll take about 5 minutes and you just give them as much information as you can. With that being said, that's about all for this video. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps get this video out in front of more people, so that way this information can be spread to more people. While you're down there, consider hitting subscribe if you'd like to see more information about Instacart and what's going on. I hope wherever you guys are that you're getting batches and that you're seeing batches throughout the day and that you're able to make the amount of money that you guys would like to make. That's all for this time. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.